Okay, in this tutorial we're going to make a color wheel using Adobe Illustrator. The color wheel is going to display primary and secondary colors. So to get started, we're going to begin with a print document. So from the splash screen, choose print document. And let's make this one a slightly different size just to prove that we can. So we're going to go with 10 inches by 10 inches, CMYK, 300 pixels per inch. You're going to now click OK. Okay, before we get too far, let's make sure we have our names on the document. So let's choose a text box and put your names of both of you, or this should be a partner assignment, and put name 1 and name 2. Actually use your names instead of name 1 and name 2 though, of course. And that way we'll know when you turn it in who did the project. Make it big enough to be seen so I know who to give credit to. And you can also take this and right justify the text, which means it's going to go over to the right. We can shrink that down. Okay, next we're going to make some circles. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to need 3 circles. Each is going to wind up being a different color. So we're going to use no stroke. So when you click on this, make sure you click on none for the stroke. And for the color, we're just going to leave it black for now because we're going to come back and change it. So we're going to take 1, and our goal is to make 3 of these in a triangle. And I'm going to Alt drag, holding down Alt and dragging to make my copies. So now I've got 3 of them roughly in sort of a triangle. Let's make 2 smaller ones, three more smaller ones. So I'm going to Alt drag this one over here, and I'm going to hold down Shift while I shrink it down just a bit. These will be for my secondary colors. So I'm going to Alt drag that one over and Alt drag it down. So this will be my color wheel when I'm finished. So to begin with, we're going to learn how to pick colors in Adobe Illustrator. So we're going to pick one of the circles. We'll start with one of the large circles, which will be our primary colors. And to change the color of this, we're going to go over here to the color swatch for the fill. The fill is the one that's a solid color, where the stroke is the one that's got a line around the outside of the box. So to change this, we're going to double click, and our first color is going to be red. Now, whatever you're picking with, you want to work with HSB colors. Start with H, move your slider all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom, which is going to give us 0 degrees hue, and drag this slider all the way to the top right. So you're trying to get a pure, bright red color. Now click OK, and that changes. Our next color is going to be yellow. So we click this one, double click again, slide the slider down to yellow, which should be, look for the purest yellow you can get. There you go. And so when you slide this one makes your hue, if you're using the hue chooser. The default, by the way, is RGB. You want to choose HSB for your colors. So if you choose H, you can slide to choose the hue. The S will give you saturation, which you want 100%. And the brightness is the slider here. Now you can work those also out just within the hue slider by choosing your hue here, and your brightness is all the way to the top and your saturation is all the way to the right. So saturation changes left to right, and hue changes, brightness changes up to down. So we're going to put that in the top right corner for maximum brightness and maximum saturation. As you can see, if I slide this down, the numbers right here will change. Okay, so there's our second color for our color wheel. The next color, of course, will be blue. So choosing this one, double click and choose blue. And we're going to drag to the top right hand corner of the hue window to get blue. So now we have, now if it feels slightly off, it might appear slightly off, so you want to you can keep messing around with the color until you get what you like out of it. But remember that CMYK colors, printer colors, are limited a little bit, so you won't get exactly the color you think you picked. It might shift just a little bit. Okay, now that we've got our primary colors, next we're going to choose our secondary colors. So choose either by drag selecting or by clicking another circle. So the one between here, red and blue, make violet, which is somewhere in this range here. There's my violet. Red and yellow make orange. So orange is going to be down here. Always go for the maximum brightness, maximum saturation. And finally, we're going to have green, which is a combination of blue and yellow. And there's my color wheel. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to use File, Save for web devices. Now what you'll do here is you'll choose your image size, and you want to set this to be about 500 pixels wide. When you click apply, it's going to shrink your image. We can still read the names. I want to make sure we can still read the names so I know who to give credit to. And you want to make sure that you choose PNG 24 from the list up here. Slightly different than the Photoshop export window in that the image size tab is hidden. So you're going to want to make sure you choose PNG 24 and change your image to about 500 pixels wide and click save to put it in a folder where you can upload it to the blog. Alright, that's it. You made a color wheel real simple in Adobe Illustrator. Have fun.